And joined by Nikki Chavanelle from Rivals, covering all things Arkansas athletics. Nikki, it's game week. What's going on today? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? I'm so excited.
I know it. It's just like, it's almost, you can't believe that it's here, but here it is. And it feels surreal, really, for it to be opening week. And here it is, the last week of September. We've had college football 3 weeks, but now it finally feels like the season is actually going to start.
Yeah, I'm glad we had a couple of weeks, of other conferences playing, because I've gotten a little bit more prepared just mentally for football to happen. And, I forgot how much we write during the season. They haven't even played a game yet, and it's like, oh, man, yeah, we put out a lot of content during the week, so go check it out. I just wrote my Pro Football Focus preview, which is a look back at Arkansas in the PFF rankings and their grades from last season. And people are like, oh, I don't think we need to look back at that. But I think you do. I think everyone needs to, temper their expectations, remember where we're coming from, and then, react appropriately on Saturday.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that, and not about the ranking specifically or where, the positions rank and all that, because those people that have the HawgBeat subscription, and you should, it's one of the reasons that you have it. But when you're going back and you're looking at these grades, like the PFF grades really do mean something as far as talent and ability and how the team comes together. So when you're looking at all of this as a whole, you just said it. This, we have optimism. We have higher expectations than before. And I don't know how much that's really saying, but you're telling us to temper them. And is it really mostly based off these PFF grades?
Well, I think that, a lot of people forget, because it's been so many months, that Arkansas really did have one of the worst defenses in the country. And that it's great that Barry Odom is here, because his defenses have been a lot better, but it's still going to take a while to improve. And going up against Georgia, their defense is number one in the nation, but their offense is pretty great too, and we don't know who their starting quarterback is going to be. So I think people just kind of need to remember that, we're not starting from an average team. We're starting from, a bad team and trying to work their way up. But the offense, I think, has the biggest chance we'll see a jump from them, even though they are going up against Georgia in week one. I just think that, that they return Rakeem Boyd, Felipe Franks. If you look at the PFF grades, he's a much better passer and a runner than either Nick Starkel or Ben Hicks were last season. So, you just automatically upgrade there at that position, which makes your receivers better. They'll have fewer drops. So the offense has, a short way to make a big improvement, I think. But the defense, you lost McTelvin Jean, Dejon Harris, and Cam Curl. So, I think that is more of a by committee improvement that we need to see. I'm not sure that Arkansas's defense really has a ton of stars right now, but if as a unit they're solid, which I think Barry Odom is good at creating, then they can make a decent jump this season. But I don't know how apparent it will be against Georgia.
So let me ask you about this defensive alignment that Barry Odom has here, this 4-2-5 defense, in which a couple of the things that seem very interesting. One, you're essentially in a nickel. You're starting in a nickel for the entire time. I don't know if that'll be the way it plays out. The jack lineman position is very interesting, in which you got Dorian Gerald backed up by Mateo Soli. From what I understand here, this jack lineman position, you're going to need to drop back and cover in the secondary a little bit. Now you got your linebackers playing hybrid positions too, and this seems to me to be just such a humongous difference over what we saw, at least schematically, from John Chavis's defense the past 2 years.
Yeah, it is a big difference. I think that, first of all, you have an increase in size in this defensive line over last season, because Arkansas was starting, a guy like Mateo Soli, who is undersized and just a true freshman. So I think that you're still going to be pretty gap sound, because you have huge guys like Jonathan Marshall and Xavier Kelly and Julius Coates, but Dorian Gerald can utilize his speed on the outside, and, Mateo Soli, he won't be so outmatched, in SEC play, because he's rotating in now, and you have Dorian Gerald there. So I think there's a lot of room for improvement. And Julius Coates, nothing but good things about him this fall camp. Everyone just says he's a freak, and they really need him to be good because they just really didn't have a staff creator besides Ajim last year. Like, it was very much more spread out, and I think that you have to have someone very disruptive, at least one guy that, you have to really worry about every play to open up opportunities for some other people, and I think that could be Coates.
Speaking to Nikki Chavanelle here on Halftime, Nikki, what's your overall feeling heading into Saturday? Do you think the Razorbacks can keep it respectable, maybe cover the spread? Like, how are you feeling about this team and everything, all the preparation that's been put in? How are you feeling heading into Saturday?
I mean, I feel like the preparation's been good. I like the coaches that they've assembled. Kendall Brow's offense seems faster to pick up from everything that they've said. We just haven't seen a whole lot of it ourselves, but when it works really well. So I'm just not sure because Georgia's defense is so good against really anyone that they play. The only team that scored more than 20 points on them last season was LSU. So it's still going to be very tough. But the Georgia offense is a big question mark. Don't know who they're starting at quarterback. Duan Mathis, he's more of a dual threat. So if he's playing, I think Arkansas might struggle a bit more. Because they've typically just had trouble with dual threat quarterbacks, but maybe Barry Odom's scheme, takes care of that a little bit more. But I'm not sure I would put a bet in on Arkansas covering the spread this week, but I feel like it won't be like a crazy blowout. I think they'll, be a little bit back and forth, and maybe Georgia just kind of dominates at the end where, Arkansas gets a little tired.
Outside of Arkansas and Georgia, obviously we got some good SEC games: Mississippi State, LSU, Kentucky, Auburn. What's the game of the week you're going to be looking forward to watching the most this weekend in the SEC?
I'm going to be watching all of those games. I'm definitely going to watch Florida and Ole Miss because I want to see what that Lane Kiffin offense is going to look like. I think the Vegas guys were giving Ole Miss a lot of credit. I think the line was something like -13 for Florida. So I want to see what they think Lane Kiffin is doing over there. Because if recruiting is any indication, it's not going to be that great.
Real quick, I want to get to real recruiting news right before we let you go because we always like to get into some recruiting with you. 6 of the 19 Hog commits saw action this past Friday. Landon Rogers, Lucas Coley, Jermaine Hamilton, Jordan. Of those 19, who's really impressed you so far during their season or during their senior year campaigns at the high school level?
Lucas Coley and Landon Rogers have both been really consistent throwing and running the ball. So I like what they're doing. Lucas Coley, he doesn't play with, one of the powerhouses in Texas, but he continues to help his guys win. Jermaine Hamilton Jordan, the safety out of Missouri, he's had quite a few good weeks already so far. You can go check out his huddle tape. He likes to post all those. He had even some offensive plays this past week. And then I want to get down to Rivercrest to check out offensive lineman Cole Carson and see how they're doing because, offensive linemen, you just don't really see highlights posted of them, so you have to go see them in person. But it looks like also J.J. Hollingsworth down at Greenland is having a good season, and he's fully healthy after being banged up last year.
See, I know you got a couple of NFL teams that you're a fan of, Nikki. Are you thinking of renaming one of the dogs after Cam Newton anytime soon?
No. I like the dogs' names as they are, but I am a big Cam Newton fan now. Like, I get excited to watch him play, and I think he adds a really, really fun element to their offense. Unfortunately, didn't go well on that last play of the game. I feel like we all knew what the play was and what was coming, but they just executed it terribly. So
that was an awesome
not what
game.
you
It
expect
really was.
from Bill Belichick.
Your other team is taking on my team on Sunday. So you got the Texans at the Steelers. You feel confident enough to put anything on that game? What do you think?
I haven't really liked how the Texans looked the past few weeks. So right now, my confidence is a little low on them.
Oh, I think they've looked great the last 2 weeks. Great to get blown out on Sunday in Pittsburgh. So we'll see how that goes. Nikki, it's always fun talking with you. Thanks for your time. Enjoy Saturday. I know you will, and we'll be talking about it next week.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Thanks, Nikki.
You got it. Nikki Chavanelle, very intelligent sports fan there to not want to put anything on the Texans and Steelers, although the line has moved towards Houston in the last couple of days from Pittsburgh by 6 to Pittsburgh by 4. It's okay. If they win by half a point, I'm happy. I'll also be happy if you call Wheels RV or just head over to Wheels RV right off exit 72, 5 miles west off I-49 in Springdale. You'll find them under the Tawnytown Water Tower, in business for over 20 years in Northwest Arkansas. But now with the new owners, Lee and Chris, they're dedicated to customer service and stocking more travel trailers than ever before. Grand Design, Forest River Vibe, KZ Sportsman, and the Paradigm Fifth Wheel. That's the hottest new fifth wheel in the industry from Alliance RV. Plus, Wheels are the only lifetime warranty dealer available in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Go to wheelsrv.net